Good evening, everybody. Welcome to, we're a little bit late here. Welcome to WrestleScope Weekly. I am John. My apologies for running a little bit late this evening. That's just kind of the way things are working out for me. I apologize for that. But no. Let's get that out of here. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. All right, lots of things to talk about here. I'm not going to be doing a lot with the banners down here tonight because I didn't have time to set things up. But as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we have new content on. We are in the middle of the 61 days of WrestleScope. That is right. And oh my, hey, we're up to 117 subscribers now. All right, we picked up 2 new subscribers. Let me see if I can figure out. How can I figure out who my new subscribers are? Audience, because I have not been getting notifications on that. All right. Taking a look at this, okay, I'm looking at the analytics here real quick. 55% of the people that have watched in the last 28 days have not subscribed to the channel. If you're watching, why aren't you subscribing? Please subscribe to the channel. And everybody that's watching is younger than me. What the heck? Does that make me old? Crap. I guess that makes me old. Man, that sucks. No, Brian, I was not late because I went to McDonald's for dinner. And yes, I will do a follow-up on that, especially for the people that didn't end up watching last night's video. I will do a quick follow-up on that in a little bit. Thank you for bringing that back up. But yes, please. Thank you very much to my subscribers. I want to start giving shout outs to new subscribers. Let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. Recent subscribers. Okay, this isn't right. This is not right. So I don't know what the heck is going on here. All right, we're not going to worry about it. Okay, I've been off of Twitter for the last couple of hours, so I'm hoping I have not missed any big news in the world of wrestling in the last couple of hours. My daughter had a musical at school tonight, second night of it. Had to go watch it. She was the Cowardly Lion in not the Wizard of Oz, it's the Magical Land of Oz. So it's a little bit of a different take on it. Does not look, I am not seeing anything massive breaking here over the last few hours, which is good. That means it's been a quiet day in the wonderful world of wrestling, which is what we like to hear. That's what we want. But what I want to do want to talk about is AEW Blood and Guts. And they came in, AEW Dynamite came in at just a shade under 1.1 million viewers. So they got back up over that million viewer plateau once again, which is great for them. I'm excited. I expected the numbers to be a little bit higher. I really did. I thought they were going to get closer to the 1.3 to 1.4 area, but 1.09 million, that's good for them. And the main event of the show, the Blood and Guts match, their version of War Games, was a great match. It really was. But much like a lot of other commentators and people out there have talked about, is my 2 biggest disappointments in the match were, first of all, the number of commercial breaks. TNT, they really should have gone commercial free or had the hour sponsored by somebody that they could have gone commercial free for that hour. Or, even starting at like 8:10 Central Time, 9:10 Eastern Time, where they go commercial free. And then it was some of the camera work, and this is more of a production thing than anything else, because you could pick up on certain things. Obviously, the biggest call-outs have been about the blading, that you could see it happening. Okay, that's a camera issue. And then the big one that I caught was when Jericho and MJF were on top of the cage, and they keyed in on Jericho, and you could see him giving directions to MJF up there. You don't do that as a wrestling television producer. That's when you cut away to a wide shot or something else. And obviously the shot of Jericho falling off of the cage and onto what is obviously a crash mat, onto that flooring area, and doing a close-up and showing that, yeah, it looks like metal on the top, but it's definitely plywood underneath. Okay, you don't need a close-up of that. So that's all production type things. But for the jack wagons that have been out there that have been complaining about the crash pads, I wouldn't want any wrestler in this day and age, any performer in a wrestling ring, to take a bump like that without having some sort of protection. Okay? People compare it back to, what Mick Foley did at Hell in the Cell way back when against The Undertaker. All right? That's just dumb, okay? You don't need to do that kind of stuff. And yes, Shane McMahon has done it a couple of times as well, but Shane McMahon has also done spots where he has used, safety things and crash pads. In this day and age, smoke and mirrors with those kind of things is fine. We don't need to be putting the health of performers at risk and their lives at risk for our entertainment. And that's what it comes down to. So if you're a person that complained about, oh my goodness, you could see the crash pad and everything else, you know what? Stop watching the product. Okay, seriously. Now, if it's something really dumb, like what we saw just a couple of months ago with the exploding ring, okay, complain about that one because that was bad. But that wasn't a safety thing. Do you really want Chris Jericho or anybody else? Chris Jericho is the same age as me. I sure as heck would not want to be thrown off of the top of a cage onto a platform and not have some sort of safety underneath there. Okay? So for now, and the other thing I want to address here is there's been a lot of talk since Thursday morning that, there was all this online hate about the match and everything else, and all these comments coming from WWE of how it was barbaric and everything. Who said it? Nobody has seen the actual tweets of people that were complaining about the match. Yes, there was people that were, complaining about certain aspects of it. It's been very vocal. But actually complaining about the match, nobody's come out and said it publicly and shown tweets publicly. And supposedly there are people in WWE that were calling the match barbaric and everything else. You know what? Anybody within WWE right now needs to shut their mouths until they improve their product. You have absolutely no right, whether you are higher level or a performer in WWE, to complain about what the other company is doing while your product right now is crap. I'm just going to say it. Okay? Those that live in glass houses should not throw stones. Right? Or as the legendary Roddy Piper said, don't throw stones at a guy carrying a machine gun. I'm just going to leave it there, okay? And this is going to lead me into my hot take a little bit later, just about the stupidity of people on the internet right now with things they say. And it may not be so much of a hot take per se, but I just need to let loose on something. I really, really do. I really do. And I'm kind of sick and tired of it. And it's time for me to voice my opinion. If you watched my broadcast from last night, you will know that I am getting to the point. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start really just sharing my opinion. And yes, we do have to bring this up. The legendary Tawny Katane, she did pass away. Yeah, Brian, you and I are both of the age that, yeah, we have high regard for Tawny Katane, not just for what she did in the White Snake videos, but she was also in Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks. You know, in the 80s, she was one of the most beautiful women on the planet. Okay. In the later years, plastic surgery didn't quite work out for her. But again, it's sad. I don't know any of the details behind her death. I know Eddie Trunk had posted something yesterday about it. But it's sad. We've lost another beloved figure, beloved celebrity figure. So thoughts and prayers going out to her family and friends. Let's go on to the next story. Something a little bit more positive here. Let us talk about Roman Reigns. And obviously, the Roman Reigns story has been the best thing going in WWE really for the last 9 months. Ever since he started the tribal chief, he had that great feud with Jey Uso, where Jey finally jumped on board with him. Last night, we saw the return finally of Jimmy Uso, and really SmackDown was built around the entire Roman, Jimmy, Jey, Cesaro, and a little bit of Seth Rollins. You know, it was really more than 50% of the show. And the way all the little bricks in the road were placed were absolutely fantastic. You know, you had Seth Rollins still continuing on his feud with Cesaro, which has been really good. It hasn't been overplayed, which I really like. You had the return of Jimmy Uso, who wants to side with his brother, but still going back to what happened at, what was that? At Hell in a Cell last year, where Jey ended up having to quit because Jimmy was put into the guillotine by Roman Reigns, and Jimmy was calling out Roman on what was going on. So that storyline picked up again. You have Jey, who is wanting to side with Roman, but also wants to side with his brother, and Roman just being the penultimate heel was absolutely fantastic. And then you have Cesaro, who unfortunately did play a third wheel, really a fourth wheel in this storyline, but it all made sense. It all made sense in this. You know, and we have the opening segment with Roman coming out and, you know, cutting down Daniel Bryan and doing what he did and bringing out Jimmy, and then Cesaro comes out, and then Rollins comes out and attacks Cesaro, and they set up the match for Rollins versus Cesaro. Cesaro wins. He gets the title shot against Roman at WrestleMania Backlash. And, you know, the return of Teddy Long, which is great, classic Teddy Long moments. And everything was just beautiful. You had Jimmy and Jey stay at ringside. They try getting involved, and Seth is like, hey, I got this. I don't need you guys. So are we starting to see a little bit of a face turn by Seth Rollins here? Where before, you know, he always wanted the help of Murphy, and he wanted to take shortcuts, but he needs to prove that he can do this on his own against Cesaro. And he doesn't want the help of others. And that actually ended up costing him the match against Cesaro. And then we get the face-to-face, which was great. I've been waiting for this, of the new Roman Reigns and the new Seth Rollins. And you can sense that this is leading to, it's got to be leading to Seth versus Roman, maybe at SummerSlam, which would be a great main event match. You have those two guys that have such a rich history. A former champion taking on the current champion. And, you know, it's the architect versus the tribal chief. And does anybody know Roman better than Seth Rollins? There's so many ways you could build this storyline, and then at the end of the night, obviously you have the whole thing in between with Jimmy, not wanting to be Roman's bitch like Jay is, and the whole night-long narrative of it. SmackDown has done such a great job with the night-long narratives with Roman Reigns and everything surrounding him. The rest of the show, it was a throwback show. The rest of the show was okay. It wasn't that great. On a scale of 5, I would have still given it a 4 out of 5 because there wasn't, the only really bad thing was Reginald. The whole Reginald, Nia, Shayna, Tamina, and Natalia, just that whole disaster still going on. The 10-man tag was entertaining. I didn't care about it. You have a short match between Carmella and Ruby Riott. Again, 3 minutes for the women. The other thing I really loved on the show was the Bayley and Bianca. Bayley's promo was just fantastic. Talking about all the legends, Alundra Blaze and Lita and Ivory and Jacqueline and Trish Stratus. Just absolutely fantastic. It was a great build to their match next week, Sunday. Again, the 10-man tag, didn't care about. Dominic Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler, I don't really care about that tag team match. I mean, yes, we're looking at the possibility of Dominic and Rey becoming the first father-son team to win the tag team titles. I don't really care. I don't. But what kept me sticking around for the entire show was Roman Reigns. And I just think as they move on from feud to feud, obviously the Daniel Bryan story is over. So he has moved on to Cesaro, but he's also got Seth Rollins kind of in the background. And then on Talking Smack this morning, Kevin Owens got in Paul Heyman's face and said, hey, Roman, don't forget about me. I'm still here. So that's still lingering. They've got multiple plates up in the air right now for Roman Reigns, which is great because they could do Cesaro and then move on to something else. I hate to say it. Cesaro is going to lose at WrestleMania Backlash. And I think his run towards the Universal Championship is going to be over at that point. Maybe they continue it on for one more to Money in the Bank, which I don't know what else they would do. Maybe they'll continue it on. We shall see. But I love what is going on right now with Roman Reigns and everything surrounding him because, maybe they move on to Jimmy Uso. Maybe Jimmy goes into the role of what Jay was last fall. And then Jimmy falls in line with his brother. We shall see. Why can't they do long-term booking like this on Raw? I don't know. I am still baffled how it's the same group of people writing and booking 3 hours on Monday Night Raw, 2 hours in SmackDown, and minus the women's tag team title stuff and, the women's division in general, nothing's the same. It's completely different products. I don't know. I really don't know. All right, this is WrestleScope Weekly. It is the 61 days of WrestleScope. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am John. I greatly appreciate you being here. We'll take this mid-show break here and remind you, please give us a follow on all of our other social media, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram as well. Going to be starting to do a little bit more on all of those platforms this coming week. And obviously get your comments in as well. I will be sharing comments throughout the show, whether it's related to our topic or not. And we may or may not bust out the Ask John Anything tonight. We shall see. All right, let's move on to our next topic. And it's a quick one. we're going to be talking back again about AEW, and it looks like AEW is going to be moving off of Wednesdays for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, and that's because of the NBA playoffs coming up. Some NBA things going on. So actually, it is the last Wednesday of May and the first Wednesday of June. They are going to end up moving to, and I have to see if I can find it. What the exact report was. I think it was Fightful Select had it. Let me see if I can find it here. Dynamite notes. No, that's not it. But I know they are going to be moving. And of course, now I cannot find the story. Can I? No. Oh, wait, maybe we did. No, I am not finding it now. I'm going to keep looking for it as we're talking, but obviously with TNT having NBA basketball, there's the conflicts there, and obviously NBA basketball is the big breadwinner for TNT when it comes to sports. Absolutely no offense to AEW, but they definitely want to take care of that. And it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up affecting things. And I want to get you the right news about it. No, that's not it. I don't know if AEW has actually tweeted about it. Yeah, I can't seem to find it here, unfortunately. But I know they're going to be moving to a Friday night on 1 week and a Saturday night on another week. And I'm going to keep working here to see if I can find the details for you. I'm really excited, just as a side note, is John Moxley putting the NJPW United States Championship on the line this coming Wednesday. I absolutely love that belt. That is a gorgeous belt. And if I'm able to get my hands on another replica belt, I want to get that one. I was going to get the IWGP World Heavyweight title belt, but I want that United States Championship belt. Yeah, John Moxley taking on Nagata on Wednesday night is going to be fantastic. We get John Moxley against Danny Limelight on Elevation on Monday night. Danny Limelight, he is a real good up-and-comer. And that is a show I'm really beginning to enjoy because it's got a lot of younger talent on it. We're going to get to see Ty Conti, my new favorite female wrestler. I love Ty Conti, taking on Maddie Rankowski. Jurassic Express and the tag team that I least enjoy, the second tag team I least enjoy watching, Chaos Project. But it's a really good show because it's really literally an hour and a half of just nonstop wrestling for the most part. You know, the same thing with AEW Dark too. If you are about the wrestling, those two shows are great, and you can watch them at any time on YouTube. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. But I'm going to see before we get out of here if I can find all the details on AEW moving to Wednesday nights. And hold on, I just saw something about Allison Kay. Allison Kay. Oh no, this is from back in November. Okay. I was going to say, I knew she was a free agent. Somebody was tweeting that she's officially a free agent now, but no, Allison Kay has been a free agent for a few months now. And I'm surprised, she's not signed with NWA. I'm surprised AEW hasn't picked up on her yet. She is a fantastic talent. Love watching her Twitch streams. She is just hilarious on Twitch. Absolutely fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about WWE's WrestleMania Backlash. And I put it, if you look at what I put in the description of this video on YouTube, I asked the question, is WrestleMania Backlash destined to be a bad pay-per-view? let's take a look at it. We've got Roman Reigns versus Cesaro, which is going to be a really good match. It's going to be a good match. Roman Reigns has not had a bad match in a long time, and Cesaro is just fantastic. You've got Bayley versus Bianca for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That is going to be a fantastic match. You've got one of two triple threats from the Raw side. You've got Rhea Ripley defending her title, her women's title, against Charlotte Flair and Asuka. On paper, that should be a good match. You've got the WWE or the Raw Championship, the WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley defending against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, also in a triple threat. You've got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Dirty Dogs versus the Mysterios. I don't expect a lot out of that match. I really don't. You've got... have we confirmed? I don't know if it's been confirmed what's happening with the Raw Tag Team titles. Are AJ and Omos defending, and who are they defending against? Are they defending against the New Day? I don't know. Nothing for the US title or for the Intercontinental title yet. I don't think it's going to be a very good pay-per-view. Reigns versus Cesaro, I think, is going to be a great match. I think Bianca versus Bayley is going to be the match of the night. I don't have a lot of high expectations when it comes to the WWE Championship triple threat, and same thing with the women's triple threat. I don't have a lot of confidence in that. I don't think it's going to be really per se a bad pay-per-view. I think the top two matches, the best two matches, will carry the night. But I just think it's not going to do a whole heck of a lot to really extend storylines or do anything new. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. I've just been so disappointed in general with the WWE product, minus what's been happening with Roman Reigns and now with Bianca and Bayley. So much of it is just garbage that the pay-per-views really just don't matter to me anymore. And there's really no surprises per se. The excitement level just for an entire card just isn't there. It really isn't. And maybe I've just gotten so beaten down by the product that it's getting tougher. I get excited for NXT takeovers. I get excited for AEW pay-per-views. I am probably going to order Double or Nothing. Depending, actually, I'm kind of wavering on that one too, because you take a look at it, just switching gears to AEW again real quick. Kenny Omega is either going to take on Pac, which would just be an astounding match, or Orange Cassidy. And no offense to Orange Cassidy, but does anybody really truly believe he's got a chance in hell of beating Kenny Omega? No. The Young Bucks, who are they going to end up facing? I think it's going to be Kingston and Moxley, because they're going to end up, unless the match with SCU somehow ends up in like a DQ finish or something, and SCU is able to stay together for a couple more weeks until the pay-per-view. We don't know what's going to end up happening with the Young Bucks. I am going to guess that Miro is going to beat Darby Allin on Wednesday night for the TNT Championship. We know we've got Dr. Britt Baker taking on Hikaru Shida, which is going to be a phenomenal match as well. Nothing else has really been set in stone for that pay-per-view either. There's a lot of things up in the air. It seems like AEW is kind of following along with the WWE mindset of, oh, we'll start really heavily promoting a pay-per-view 2 weeks ahead of time. I don't really think that's the way to go. So just to answer my own question here, is WrestleMania Backlash, which again, why is it named this? Why? What does Roman versus Cesaro have to do with Backlash from WrestleMania? Nothing. Bayley versus Bianca. That has nothing to do with WrestleMania. You know, if Rhea versus Asuka was a one-on-one, yes. If Drew versus Bobby for the WWE Championship was a one-on-one, yes. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Brian says getting harder and harder to watch main roster stuff. Yeah, NXT and AEW can't miss, but only so many hours in a day. That is very true. I am fortunate enough in my job that I am able to watch. If I can't watch a show live, I can watch it on replay at work the next day. What sucks though with Hulu, and I have Hulu, is many times when you record wrestling, it's dependent on what that company wants you to see on the replay. So like 3 hours of Raw, you will get under 2 hours worth of content. You will miss a lot of the backstage stuff. Same thing happens with SmackDown. It's happened with NXT where you don't see everything. That's why I kind of miss having a DVR. I really do. But I agree with you. There's only so many hours in the day to be able to watch stuff. And even with the schedule that I have and the availability I have, it's tough. There are times, and this month is really rough for me as well because I haven't been able to watch a lot of it live. I really haven't. Eric with a great question here. What's up? Not much. We're talking wrestling on a Saturday night. Please tell me how Raw is so much worse than SmackDown. They have the same writers. I'm asking the same question. I am asking the same doggone question, and I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, and I don't think anybody else does either. I think the biggest difference, even though he's not part of the creative team anymore, who's on SmackDown but not on Raw? Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman and Roman have a lot of creative control over what is going on with Roman Reigns. We don't have that over on Raw. I think if MVP was given the power that Paul Heyman has over Roman Reigns with what can be done, we'd see a whole different Bobby Lashley. We'd see a whole different set of things going on over there. But Raw is completely Vince and Bruce and Kevin Dunn and everybody over there. Whereas SmackDown, it's still Vince and Bruce. But Paul Heyman has a lot to say. Even though, again, he's not on the creative team, he's got a lot of say in what's going on. So I think that's the big difference over there. All right. It's time. And you know, I may have to get this spot. I may have to reach out to this winery because I'm going to need to take a drink of the Apothic Red to get ready for this. Straight out of the bottle. Couple more comments here real quick before I jump into this. Yep, an extra hour of Raw makes it really drag out. 2 hours is still too much, but it's up to the USA Network. USA wants the 3 hours. Yeah, it's the Monday blahs that caused the problem. I don't know. Do I have a banner? Oh, yes, I do. It is time for John's hot take. All right. And what I need to do is actually pull up a tweet that I had sent out earlier this afternoon. And this is actually a retweet from Gary H3K. And I don't know where this video came from. Let's see if I can get this to share. I'm not going to play the audio here because I don't obviously own the content rights to this. But this is the tweet right here. And this is, I believe, English football players, English soccer players, talking about, it's a video campaign talking about basically online bullying by fans and people that aren't fans. And I listened to the video, and go over to my Twitter at TV_wrestle and watch this 2-minute video and just listen to the things that are being said. But Gary H3K, who I follow, he's got a great comment here. You know, the internet wrestling community should watch this. I would like to see WWE and AEW get their wrestlers to make one of these video campaigns, as online bullying in wrestling Twitter is rife and needs stopping. And he tagged all the big players: Vince, Triple H, Steph, Tony Khan, and Cody Rhodes. So I retweeted it, and you can see my comment right up here on the top, right there on the top. This is what we should be doing now. Online bullying and harassment needs to stop, not just wrestling, but in life in general. And I tagged Triple H, Cody Rhodes, William Patrick Corrigan of NWA, Court Bauer of MLW, Scott D'Amore of Impact Wrestling, and Tony Khan. Sorry. I know that's really bad. But I agree with this. Whoops. Oh, let me get that out of there. All right. I agree with this 100%. Online negativity, online bullying when it comes to wrestling has gotten absolutely ridiculous. It is keyboard warriors that are hiding behind, fake usernames and everything else. Now, yes, you could say, well, John, you don't use your real name on your Twitter. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you something right now. Let me pull this up. Let me get this on here. And let me go back screens. Where am I? Nope, wrong one. Wrong screen. You guys can still see me, which is good. Let me share you a different screen here. And I need a couple of ticks of the button. I believe that should be the correct one. That is not the right one. Hold on. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I actually have to bring that screen over. Click that. That's where I goofed up. Sorry. So if you're saying, well, John, you don't use your name, you use the WrestleScope name. There we go right there, folks. Take a look. That is my personal Twitter page right there, at John Kurosawa. If you know me, all of my social media, my personal social media, is my name. I tag my name on everything because, first of all, that's who I am. I'm going to take accountability for it. Second of all, my name is my brand, along with WrestleScope. So if you want to sit there and complain that John doesn't use his real name, and it's okay. I understand some people don't want to use their real names. For women, I completely get it if you have something that is not your real name online. If you don't want your personal information out there, I understand. I get it. But people that hide behind fake names and fake pictures and everything else and sit there and just shoot out negativity, spew negativity out of their mouths like they're vomiting, it's ridiculous. It needs to stop. And again, it's not just in the world of professional wrestling. It's really bad when it comes to professional wrestling. It is. Sometimes it just breaks my heart when I look at, comments in, on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook and in YouTube streams. Oh my goodness, the YouTube streams are awful when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's terrible. People think that they can say whatever they want, and it doesn't matter because, it's just on a screen. Would you say these things to somebody if you were sitting across a table from them? 99.999999999% of the time, the answer would be no. Now, there's going to be those jackwagons out there saying, oh, yeah, I don't care. I'll say whatever I want to whoever I want. And there are those few idiots that, yeah, you know, they have diarrhea of the mouth and say anything. That's not the kind of world we need to be living in. Brian, I didn't get a chance to read through your entire comment, but I'm going to post it up here. Yep, it needs to stop. There was the Japanese wrestler who killed herself because of online bullying. To make it worse, even after her death, people were harassing her mother. Yes, unfortunately, I don't remember her name, and I should remember her name. But yes, it is a tragic story. A young, vibrant woman in Japanese wrestling was getting harassed by fans, and she felt the best way to handle it, she couldn't handle it anymore. She just couldn't. And she killed herself because of it. It's terrible. It's tragic. Eric, these are people that instantly get beer muscles. Yeah, I know people that get beer muscles that aren't like this. It kind of goes back to the old saying of, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Now, I come on my stream and sometimes I'm critical of certain things, but I don't spew personal hate towards anybody. There have been times that you would love beer. Yes, Brian, you're all about the beer muscles. There have been times where I have called out certain wrestlers. You know, Nia Jax has been one. And it's nothing against her personally. It's against her character on television. A character that is not the real person. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you suck so bad, I want you to die. Or, you know, I want you to take yourself and throw yourself off a bridge. You know, stupid crap like that. Put it into the perspective of this. If you have a wife, a husband, a son, a daughter, a best friend, a brother or sister, would you want them talked to by somebody like that? The things that you're saying. Would you want people saying that to you? How would that make you feel? Put yourself in those shoes. Now, again, you're going to have that very tiny percentage of the brain dead jackwagons out there that goes, I don't care what anybody says to me. Okay. Guess what? That's a flat out lie. There is not a single person on the planet that doesn't get affected by what people say to them. They may not portray it, but deep down in their psyche, in their subconscious, it gets to them. Inside, it gets to them. Nobody wants to hear those things. So if it's things that you don't want to hear personally, why are you saying it to somebody else? Yes, Brian, you're right. Thank you very much. Hana Kimura. Hana Kimura. That is a name that we should remember because she tragically lost her life because of idiots on the internet that were negative towards her. Yep, that's a problem. A lot of people online can't separate real from character play. Well, the sad thing is, Eric, though, it's not just happening in wrestling. It's happening in so many other areas of life, too. Wrestling is just a tiny little microcosm of it where it's happening everywhere. Since the explosion of social media 12, 13 years ago, it has become so much easier for the brain dead idiots out there to sit at their keyboard or on their smartphone and type horrific messages to people because, oh, it's just words. It's not going to hurt anybody. I'm going to speak directly to those people that do it. As soon as you say it doesn't hurt anybody, you've just said a flat out lie. Harmful words hurt people all the time. You don't know what kind of things people may be going through in their own life. You may not know that wrestler that you're sending that comment to. Maybe they're dealing with some personal issues in their life. Maybe they have somebody in their family that has been sick or has lost a job, had a house foreclosed on, has a child that they don't talk about publicly that is sick. Maybe they're dealing with some sort of depression, anxiety, or mental health situation. You don't know that. Do you want to be the person responsible for tipping somebody over the edge, like we saw with Hana Kimura? Do you want that on your conscience? I don't think you do. And I'm going to say it again. If you want to be critical of things, being critical is one thing. Being a hateful piece of trash is unacceptable. I can't stand that kind of thing. It drives me crazy. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to leave social media, but it's so much of what I do with this that it's difficult. But there have been plenty of times I have wanted to walk away from every social media platform because I'm just done with it. I can't take it anymore. It's driving me nuts. So what I'm calling for, it's okay for us to have our opinions. It's okay for us not to like things and be vocal about it. But there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. Be smart before you put your comments out. Be smart before you say something hateful about someone else, especially if it's somebody you don't know personally. Just because you follow somebody online, just because you watch them on television, doesn't mean you know them. Don't act like you know these people and that you feel that you can go off and say what you want about them when you want to. You do not have that right. We need to start spreading more positivity. It's fine, again, to be negative about product that's being put out. But don't be negative about the people that are out there doing it. Be angry at a company. Don't be angry at the performers. The people that literally put their livelihood on the line for our entertainment. That's what they're there for. Whether you call them sports entertainers, superstars, or wrestlers, they are out there to entertain us. And because of that, we need to show them respect. Whether you like their character or not, whether you like them personally or not, it doesn't matter. Too much hate is being spread in this world right now. We need to stop doing that. Make the wise choice before you go out and throw that verbal vomit, that vocal diarrhea of negativity. Turn it on yourself. Would you want somebody to say that to you? Would you want someone to say that to your mother, your wife, if you're a woman, your husband, your children? If you say no to all those things, you shouldn't say it yourself. And time for another drink of Apothic Red. Okay, I feel much better. Let's lighten it up a little bit. All right, we're at 49 minutes. We're in the last 10 minutes of the show if I go a full hour. Let's do this. Let's open the floor for Ask John Anything. It's that time of the night. Ask me a question. Ask me anything. Oh, okay. Well, Eric asked this question. Speaking of entertaining, what did I think of the G-rated Mankind Taker throw from AEW? I actually talked about it at the opening of the show, Eric, and I was fine with what they did. I actually liked the ending to the match. I would have rather have it done where it was MJF attacking Jericho, and having everybody else like handcuffed or whatever to the cage, and he's beating him mercilessly, just beating him senselessly, either with a chair or something else, and it goes back to the whole Jericho comment, you're going to have to kill us to make us surrender 2 weeks ago. And Sammy is so concerned about Jericho that he finally says, please just stop. I surrender. You need to stop, because he cares about his leader so much. I think they could have done it without the throw. I was all right with it. I didn't like the camera cuts. I didn't like the camera cuts that they showed, which really made it look worse than it was. But overall, I thought it was really good. I really did. I thought it was a good match. We saw a lot of great things. Wardlow is obviously a star in the making. So I'm fine with it. I mean, we are never going to see anything like Mankind, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell ever again, at least in mainstream wrestling. Never going to see that ever again. Brian, going back to my hot take. Yep, the key is not to make it personal. Tamina, you're sure is a nice person. Her character is not your favorite, but the person behind the mask have no idea. Yeah, you could say that about anybody. I actually like what they're doing with Tamina right now, though she was made to look really bad last night with that whole Reginald thing. Again, Nia Jax, I don't know her personally. I don't like her character. I don't like how she works in the ring, but it's nothing personal against the woman in general. And I'm not going to say hateful things. I have said some negative things on this channel about her, but it's nothing personal. Absolutely nothing personal. And I'm not saying anything that she might get upset about it if she ever saw it, but it's not, oh my God, it's not anything that would harm her, mentally or psychologically. I don't know if that's going to be a send-off for Jericho to go on tour. Is Fozzy on tour? Is Fozzy going to be on tour? It's possible. I mean, that could be a good way to do it, where he's off television for a couple of months, and you have the rest of the inner circle kind of working on their own, trying to stay together until hopefully they won't wait until All Out in September. I think that would be way too long to wait. Hard to say. Really hard to say. I'll be interested to see how they handle this coming Wednesday night on Dynamite. It's a stacked card. Again, this is one of those situations. I think MJF and the Pinnacle needs to come out, and they need to just have... Oh, Eric just answered the question. Their first show was yesterday. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess Jericho will be off of TV for a little bit then, which is good. I mean, they need to write him off for a little while. My big concern with AEW, though, is if you're going to be without Jericho, and then assuming you're going to be without Moxley not too long after Double or Nothing, because his wife Renee is due in about 6 weeks for their first baby, so he's going to be taking some time off. You're going to have both Jericho and Mox off TV at the same time. That's a little scary. That really is. Unless we're going to end up seeing more Cody and who knows what else. I'm sure it'll be fine, but when you've got two major league players like that are going to be off of TV for, a month or a little bit more, that's a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. But I think AEW will be okay with it. I really do. All right. I think I am going to, it is 10 o'clock Central Time here. It is getting later, and I've got to get some stuff ready for tomorrow. I am exhausted because it has been a long, long day. It really has. It's been a good day. Sorry, I'm rubbing my tired face here. Can't help it. Jericho's only got 13 shows lined up, and they're spread apart until October. Okay. I would really love to see Fozzy live. I really would. I want to go to a live concert again. It has been a long time since I've been to a live concert. So, yeah. But, I think I'm going to wrap things up here. Oh, I do want to address... Actually, let me go back to the comments here because I think Brian brought it up at the beginning of the show. I was late because I went to McDonald's for dinner. Please go back. If you did not watch last night's stream, please go back and watch it because it was interesting. Okay. It was about my McDonald's experience last night, which is kind of sticking out in my thoughts still. I need to order one of those. Oh, sorry. Getting distracted by the internet again. Oh, my goodness. Brian with another question here. Am I watching Dark Side of the Ring? Absolutely, I am. I have not watched episode 2 of Pillman, of Brian Pillman. I did watch episode 1. I am probably going to watch episode 2 either tomorrow night or Monday at work. But I love Dark Side of the Ring. I think Dark Side of the Ring is better than the AEW documentaries that they're doing. The Roddy Piper one on A&E. The Roddy Piper one on A&E was fantastic. The Stone Cold one was okay. I really like the Roddy Piper one. Can't wait to watch the Randy Savage one. I'll be interested to see that one. But Dark Side of the Ring is just phenomenal. This season is going to be great. 14 episodes of it. I love some of the backstory stuff of Pillman. I just love hearing things that you don't get to hear anywhere else. They're just fantastic. So yeah, I'm excited for all of it. But yeah, please go back. As I was saying, please go back and watch last night's stream I did when you get a few minutes. It was kind of a shorter one, but went off on my experience with McDonald's. Oh, they were harsh with Macho Man. Yeah, I could kind of see it. He's not there to defend himself anymore, so it doesn't really surprise me. I am going to end up watching that one, though. I think I'll probably end up watching that one on Monday because there's no Wrestling Daily on Monday, so that gives WrestleScope Jr. and I some good watching of wrestling of something else on Monday. But I am going to jump out of here now. Thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for the comments. Please, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and leave your comments still. I will get back. I will respond to as many as I possibly can. I try getting back to them as quickly as possible. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others, but I greatly appreciate it. This has been, let's see, I guess this is day 38 of the 61 days of WrestleScope. And I got to tell you, I was unsure going into today what I was going to end up talking about on this week's show because I try not beating up so much of what everybody else talks about. I do want to give my own opinions on things, but it's difficult sometimes. It really is. And tomorrow, not quite. I can guarantee you, not going to be doing a live stream tomorrow with it being Mother's Day. I'm going to try getting some content on a little bit earlier tomorrow as opposed to these later ones. I know I am working on. I can tell you, I don't typically want to throw names out of people that I am trying to get on here, but I am working to have a show sometime in the very near future with the great Adam Pearson. I love Adam. I love his opinions. And he was just on with Wrestling Daily on Friday, did a phenomenal job with Alex McCarthy. If you want to watch the replay of that on YouTube, really enjoyed it. He is a fantastic guy, and I know he wants to be on the show. So I'm going to work on making that happen in the very near future. Thank you very much, Eric. Greatly appreciate that. You have a good night as well. Please share this with your friends. Share the page with your friends. I would greatly appreciate that. But that is all for tonight. Hey, we are going to hit 1 hour again. All right. We've hit the hour mark again. So thank you very much. As always, if you're watching this on the replay, please like this video. Help the algorithms on YouTube. Give a subscribe to the channel. We're at 117 right now. Next goal is 200. Let's see if we can get to 200 before the end of the month. That would be pretty doggone cool. And hit the notification bell so you can be updated every time I put new content on this channel. I am John. This is WrestleScope. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will be back tomorrow with day number 39. Have a great night, everybody.